Are you struggling to come up with prices for your spa services? This is the number one area that I see spa owners setting themselves up for failure. Pricing for profit requires a really strategic approach. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the differences between pricing strategy and pricing model, the five most common pricing strategies that are used, and how to identify which pricing strategy is best suited for you depending upon where you are in your business. Hey, Melinda Monet here. If it's your first time at my channel, welcome. Here you'll find all things money, marketing, and mindset exclusive to independent spa owners. Okay, so as a spa revenue strategist, one of the things that comes up time and time again, and you might be watching this thinking, yeah, girl, I've been wondering the same thing, is prices. What do I charge? That is the number one thing. And I really think that this is a loaded question here because there's a lot of things that go into pricing and what can make it a tricky area to navigate in your business. And some of it has to do with our mindset that we attach to it. Sometimes your pricing can be a very emotionally driven decision. Also, the market that you're in, what stage of business that you're in. We always bring up, I want to make sure I'm affordable, or I don't have clients and I'm trying to build a business. These are just a few of the things that come up, and it can really make answering that question of what should I charge a really tricky one. Before we really dive in here, I want to talk about pricing strategy versus pricing model and how the two are oftentimes used interchangeably, but they're really quite different. So, pricing strategy has more to do with internal within your business, the way and the manner in which you're going about constructing your prices, right? How did you come up with your price? That's the strategy part. Now, your pricing model is more forward facing, right? This is how you're positioning it to your client. For example, Massage Envy franchise follows a membership model. So that's not necessarily the strategy that they use to come up with the price for that membership, but that's certainly their pricing model. So you might be asking yourself, well, I don't know, what pricing model should I have? And I don't want you to walk away from this video with more questions than when you came in. But what I can tell you is that your pricing model should certainly be in alignment with your business, right? And there's so many things that you'll need to ask yourself to really identify it. And we don't have time for that in this particular video. But your first step is the pricing strategy. Because before you can identify whether you want to do memberships or subscriptions or bundles and any of that jazz, what are you going to charge? So let's dive into that. Let's talk about those five most common pricing strategies. The first one is cost based. And I think we're all familiar with this. Simply put, what does it cost, right? What does it cost you? That's the baseline. This is one that is more commonly used within the spa industry. However, it's oftentimes done incorrectly. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to your money, the math better be mathing. The next one is value based. And this is one that does come up, but oftentimes I feel we're not taking proper inventory. And what I mean by that is value based pricing is really thinking about the value add. And value add isn't just throwing everything in there and like we're giving it all away for one great price. Value is also the things that you can't quantify, right? It's the intangibles. It's all about really identifying the target audience that you're reaching out to. What are the things that they value? And that really comes down to the experience, right? You can't really quantify that, but people definitely want great customer service. They want to have a really nice environment. Certain anticipatory services, such as ease of booking and canceling and rescheduling, all of these things add value. So, this is where You have your cost, but then you want to make sure you take inventory of all the value add that you have. All right, so the next one is dynamic pricing. And I find that this is one that is underutilized in the spa industry, but it's actually one of my favorite. And I'll tell you, so at the time of this recording, Beyonce just launched this mega tour, which I got tickets to, by the way. And when I tell you she worked the hell out of this pricing strategy, so, dynamic pricing, in short, if you think about it, it's all about supply and demand, right? So, the price can fluctuate and change. You see the hospitality industry use this quite a bit. So, when you're on a flight, right? Every seat on that flight went for a different price, okay? Or if you're anything like me, I like a good happy hour. And if you go in a specified period of time, you get what? Happy hour deals, right? Or a happy hour menu or what have you. And there's so many different ways that you can take dynamic pricing and make it work for you in your spa, but it's really underutilized. And I find that if you bring on a new staff member and they're not booked, or for yourself, you're in your infancy, or you have to restart up your business, maybe you've been in business for a while, but your book to availability ratio is a little bit low, this is a fantastic pricing strategy in order to maximize your time, because we oftentimes hear, I don't want to go down this low, or I don't want to do this. But let me ask you a quick question. Just do some simple math here. What's 100% of zero? It's zero. Think about peak season, low season. Maybe you have certain days of the week where you're like, I'm opening my business. I have to operate. I then came up in here and I saw two people today. All right, so there's many ways to leverage dynamic pricing to work for your business and your bottom line. Then we have bundle pricing. Now, this strategy is probably one of the most common in the spa industry. And although I love a good bundle, where I see that it goes wrong is if we didn't price it properly. And so, what does that mean? Okay, you bundle maybe multiple services, right? Or you bundle retail with the service. But if you did not conduct a proper cost and profit analysis, you might end up losing money on the bundle. And really, the goal of it is to lock in the client, to have like client retention built in, to gain client loyalty, to provide the maximum result by having them with you more. But ultimately, it's quantity, right? It's putting everything wrapped up in one beautiful bow. But if you did not do a cost and profit analysis, bundle pricing strategies could go terribly wrong. All right, so here's one that you may or may have not heard of, but it's charm pricing. Some people call it psychological pricing. And although there's many different pieces to it, when you think of charm pricing, it's really in how you present the number. So maybe instead of just saying this massage is 90 bucks, maybe it's 87 bucks, right? It's how like buyer psychology, how that number kind of lands for them. And psychological pricing also has to do a little bit with the positioning, which, if you've not watched that video, be sure to go and check that out. It's part of a three-part series. But with psychological pricing, it's all about the how people go about their purchasing decisions, right? And how you want to position it, how you want to present it. And there's really a lot on this strategy that I can say, and I'll save that for another video. But I want you to consider at least playing around with charm pricing. And you can easily do that by just simply changing the last number of your pricing anywhere between a 5 and a 9. For me, if you've been following me for a while, 7 is my favorite. Everything ends in 7. Okay, so after hearing about the 5 most common pricing strategies, you might be asking yourself, how do I know which one works for me? I can't answer that question for you. What I can tell you is that in the Spa Profit Academy, we've developed our profitable pricing pyramid. And it's designed exactly for spa professionals. And it's a little bit of a hybrid approach. We don't believe that there is a one size fits all or that you have to stick with one pricing strategy. And so our profitable pricing pyramid will walk you through layer by layer, step by step of do this first at your foundation and build upward from here. And at the foundation of it is a service cost and profit analysis. So if you want to learn more about it, be sure to check out the link below. All right, so let's recap all that we've talked about today. The differences between pricing strategy and pricing model, the 5 most common pricing strategies that are used, and how to identify which pricing strategy is best suited for you depending upon where you are in your business. If you found today's video to be helpful, please be sure to subscribe and press the notification bell so that you get alerted every time we drop a new video. And be sure to grab your complimentary Rapid Revenue Planner with the link below. And I thank you for your time, your attention. Have an amazingly abundant week. Melinda Monet signing off, and I'll see you next time.